What's up, everybody? It's Realistic with Realistic Productions, and today I'm going to be doing a kit review for SoundOracle.net. This is called No Games, and it's the official Ayo and Keys drum kit. That's right, this is a kit that the producer group Ayo and Keys were a part of. And if you know anything about these guys, they produce Cardi B's Bickenhead, and they produce To My Bed for Chris Brown. So these guys are super hot in the game right now. They're up and coming. They're doing a lot of fire ass beats right now. And what's really cool too is this is not a kit where Oracle and Triza went and found beats that these guys made and then had chopped like the drums from it. It's not like that. These are actual drums and samples that Ayo and Keys were heavily involved in the making of. So these are official brand new sounds that they all had a making of, and this is stuff that you can slice, you can chop, you can flip them, you can put them in any DAW, you can put them in any hardware. We got kicks, we got 808s, snares, percussions, we got samples, we got loops in there, we got percussion loops. There's even a construction kit in there as well. So this is super awesome. Really excited to dive into it. And you know, anything that comes from SoundOracle.net is always really high quality. If you know anything about Oracle, his sounds have shown up on over 20 Grammy winning songs. He's had stuff in Justin Timberlake, Drake songs, Beyonce songs, Jay-Z songs. The list is way too long. Triza was also involved in this. If you know anything about Triza, he's produced for Rico Love, Chris Brown, Justin Bieber, Sean Kingston. It's a super long list. So we're going to go into Ableton and we're just going to go through and listen to each one of the sounds. All right, so I got Ableton 10 open up here, and what we're going to be doing is we're going to be going through the brand new kit, the official Ayo and Keys kit that was a collaboration with the Unquantized crew, SoundOracle, and Triza. It's called No Games, and we're just going to go through this folder, and let me just flip over and show you real quick what we're kind of dealing with here. You see we got 808s, we got claps, hats, kicks, loops and samples. There's even a construction kit inside the loops and samples folder. We got percussions and we got snares as well. And you'll see that these are all 44.1 16-bit, so they're capable to work in any DAW or any hardware sampler of your choosing. All right, so let's flip back here, and we're just going to go through and talk about them, and we'll just go right down the order here. We'll start with the 808s. I think it's really cool because we have the dry 808s, and then we have the same 808s that are ran through with some different effects, so we'll take a look at that. So let's just go through a couple of them. As you can hear, these are really powerful 808s. There's a lot of bump to them, a lot of extra oomph to them. These definitely can get the speakers rattling. The trunks can get shaken from here. I think it's really cool, and you'll notice that we got the same 808s with these effects. So check this out. We got the 5-hour energy natural one, and then we got the one with the effect. Right, so I think that's pretty cool that those are there. It looks like this one is one with distortion. We got, let's listen to the hold up one. And then this one is ran through a tube screamer, which is really cool. That's a vintage guitar pedal that's been used on countless classic rock records. And I think it's really cool that these 808s were ran through a distortion pedal like that. It gives it some really unique feel to it. Without it and with it. Yeah, I think that's super cool. We have another one here that's ran through a tape machine. Another one that was ran through a distressor. And then let's listen to it without the distressor. You see, both are really good sounding and really awesome. It's kind of cool to be able to choose between the different ones. This one was ran through a Neve 1073 preamp with the overdrive cranked way up and the output turned down so it wouldn't digitally clip. Versus... So I think that's really cool. You don't see that in a lot of packs where the 808s come with two versions, one where it's just overdriven on some analog gear and then the other just natural one. So that's super awesome. Let's go through the claps here. All of these claps have a lot of energy to them. They were all ran through an API 550B, so they have a really nice, pristine, crispy top end to them. You can hear the clarity to them that they can really cut through the mix as well. I'm definitely excited to get my hands on some of these for when I'm making my beats and stuff too. Let's go through the hats too. It's always good to have a good variety of hats, and this kit does not disappoint when it comes to the hi-hats. So you can see too that there's a lot of different hi-hats in there. We got ones that are typical trap style. We got ones that kind of have a stereo spread to it. Ones that have a nice thirst quenching kind of feel to it. Really refreshing feel to them. So I won't go through all of them. You'll have to get the kit if you want to hear what all the hats sound like. But I think those sound really awesome. And let's just move on down to the kick drums here. I thought these sounded really good, really thick sounding, a lot of power to them, a lot of punch to them. Definitely some stuff that can cut through the mix, can cut through the speakers, can definitely create a lot of nice feeling right in the chest. What I really like too is there's a couple in here that are great for layering. You might hear them at first and you're like, boy, I don't know if I would just have that as my kick drum, like that one right there. There's not like crazy amount going on with it, but you have to think if you're trying to layer kick drums and create your own kind of sound too, something like that is perfect because it's not completely layered as something is like that. There's a lot going on with that kick drum, which is awesome. It's ready to go in the mix. You're super set to get in there. But you got to think that it sometimes you might want to be able to create your own kind of sound. And so something like that can definitely leave a lot of possibilities and openness to be able to create your own sounds too, which is I think is really important for a kit to have a combination of the two. And then this was my favorite one just because it was the most unique. I thought that was super cool. Kind of jealous that I didn't think a cool kit like that. So I'm gonna come back to the loops and samples because I'm just gonna stick with the perks. We'll save the loops and samples for last. Let's go to the percussions here. So definitely a lot of stuff to get you going, a lot of cool stuff that could be syncopated or throwing on the off beats or some stuff that could be layered with different drums too. It's always good to have a good variety of those, and there's definitely a couple good ones to choose from. Now I'm excited about these snares too because these were another thing that were ran through the 550Bs, the API EQs, so it definitely has that nice analog vintage tone to it with that pristine top end. So something that I really like about these snares is the quality of them is they're so crispy and there's so much energy on the top end, but at the same time the low mids were EQ'd very very well, so there's a lot of body to them. And then a lot of kits, that lacks right there. The high end was focused so much on the snares, and sometimes the lower mids were kind of looked past, and so you don't get that nice full rich body. And so all of these snares have a really nice rich body to them. I mean, you can hear the thickness in there as far as the lower mids. They definitely got some good body to it. All right, and then so let's go through the loops and samples. You just heard the snares are really great quality, a lot of really great tones, a lot of great options to create some super fire beats. Let's check out the loops and samples. So we got one construction kit in here. This one right here, I mean, this is a total hit right here. And what's cool is we got all the different layers, and you see too with all of our loops and samples, we have the key signature and we have the tempo in there, so it takes all the guesswork out for you. So you hear that, I mean, that is a great sounding loop right there. I mean, you could definitely make a hit off of that. There's still plenty of room to add stuff, and I'll just kind of show you that we got the stuff broken down here too. So I think that's really cool that we have the construction kit in there, and then we got some really awesome loops in here. When I listened to these, I was really pleased with this because a couple of these have that really awesome kind of sounding Toronto lo-fi filtered kind of vibe to it. So that's really cool to be able to add to it. And then we also got some really elegant kind of sounding stuff in here too. That's also really cool about this kit. As you see, we got a couple different choices for the loops and samples. We got instruments, we got pianos, we got guitars, we got full kind of sounding samples, and we got bare ones. And then we also got vocals too, which is really awesome for chopping, adding stuff to add choruses to. And it's super awesome, especially with the vocals that we have the key signature and tempo in there. That's one of those filtered kind of sounds I was talking about. I think is really nice, can definitely give a cool vibe, leaves plenty of room to add a lot of instruments to it too. This is that Toronto sound that I was talking about right here. That's another one of those little kind of popular Toronto vibe I was talking about, where it's filtered and you can definitely get a really sweet loop going with some awesome drum sound, and definitely do a deep cut with that one. And it's cool too, you got a couple drums to choose from too in there as far as percussion loops, so those are always good to have. Definitely brings a lot of swing and bounce to the records.
How was you? How was you? How was you? How was just a little bit, just a little bit.
Yeah, so that's the No Games loop right there. Again, this was something that Ayo and Keys were heavily involved in. These are definitely some great sounding samples and loops and one-shots that can definitely really get some great sounding records going. It has that vibe of the top 40 hits, and this is definitely a kit that I recommend. I definitely won't sleep on this kit, and I recommend going over to soundoracle.net and checking it out now.